And joining us right now, great pleasure to welcome to the program today in our book talk segment. We're joined by the author of a book called The Synthesis Effect, Your Direct Path to Personal Power and Transformation. And we're joined by Dr. John McGrail today from the beautiful city of L.A., Los Angeles. How are you, Doctor?
I'm doing very well, Doug, and yourself?
I'm doing very good. Even better that I had a chance to read through your book. I enjoyed reading through it, and I get the feeling, and I think that was part of the point, it's almost like having a session with you. Is that the way you kind of designed it? It's the way, at least I got it from reading it.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly how it was designed. You know, a lot of self-help books and personal empowerment books are very sort of preachy, I think. And you know, the average reader thinks, well, you know, I can't identify with this person. They're way up here, and you know, it's not really that way. I'm just a regular guy. What I do for a living is something that I get great joy in. And so I wrote it in a very conversational, very easy to understand style. And along the way, while you're having this quote-unquote session with me and learning these very powerful techniques for improving your life, I share the stories of other real people, just like you and me, who have gone through the process. And I tell their stories of transformation, and even my own. I had my own issues when I was a younger person, and I share part of that too. So and the feedback I'm getting from readers around the country has just been fantastic, because that's exactly how it comes across. And so I think I've hit my goal here. I believe that every one of us is deserving of a wonderful, joyful life of abundance, whatever that might mean to you. And so many of us have issues in today's society that are preventing us from doing that, whether it's a limiting belief or a habit or a fear or a phobia or something that's preventing us from living the way we'd like to. This book and my method is designed to help overcome those and make that transformation easily and profoundly.
Just to amplify again, Dr. McGrail is a clinical hypnotherapist, which is kind of an interesting field in itself, isn't it? I mean, I think that's misunderstood hypnosis. And you go into it in the book a little bit, but a lot of things can benefit yourself if through hypnosis, can it?
Well, absolutely. Hypnosis is terribly misunderstood by most people, and the reason is very simple. First of all, it's important to say that it is a natural state of consciousness. Every single normal human brain enters what we would call hypnotic trance several times every day, all of our lives. And people don't understand that. I'll give you some examples in a second. But the reason it's so misunderstood is because as a natural state of consciousness, it can be used in a variety of ways. And we see these hypnosis shows on TV and on stage where seemingly normal people get up on stage and do really crazy things under hypnosis. And it's very funny to watch, but the people in the audience think, oh my God, certainly their mind has been taken over and they're under the hypnotist's control, and nothing could be further from the truth. The reason people in a hypnosis show do what they do is because they want to be in the show. They always ask for volunteers first, and they happen to be one of the folks that can enter a very deep state of hypnotic trance easily, and a trained hypnotist can find those people, and they gladly play along. Now, again, it's a natural state of consciousness. Anytime you watch a movie or a good TV show and you're feeling emotion, whatever it is, laughter or fear or excitement or joy or sadness, you are in fact in hypnosis. You're responding to suggestion. Anytime you drive on the freeway and sort of daydream and all of a sudden you say, oh my God, where have I been? Well, you've been in hypnosis. Or you get caught up in a hobby and time simply flies by and you just lose track. That is hypnosis. Now, the reason it can be such a powerful tool for creating change and transformation in our lives is because it creates a very open, receptive state of mind. And the subconscious mind, where most of our patterns, our behaviors, our attitudes, our values, our beliefs, our fears, the emotional limitations that we put upon ourselves, it works very much like a computer. And once it's programmed, it'll play those programs over and over again. Good or bad doesn't matter to the subconscious mind. And so what we do with hypnosis is basically create that open, receptive state of mind and talk to the subconscious mind and help it relearn the habits and patterns that it wants to have or that the conscious mind wants to have and get rid of the ones that aren't working so well. It's kind of like reprogramming the computer. And in my method, it's only a small part of a much bigger process. That's why I call it synthesis, because it takes conscious energy and it works with the unconscious mind. Cutting-edge science, the greatest scientific discovery and we combine that with some techniques and traditions that have been in use for 7,000 years as therapeutic tools. One of them is bring techniques and methods and traditions together and provide the tools and a process through which to use the tools. It's amazing how quickly your life can change.
It really is. Just kind of, when I'm reading through your book there, how you can combine that with almost like a positive thinking kind of aspect to your therapy as well. I mean, that all kind of comes together. I guess the word synthesis comes from that. It's several factors, right, adding together.
Yes, several disciplines, techniques, and positive thinking is a big part of it. And that again is misunderstood. A lot of people get very sort of derogatory about the quote-unquote power of positive thinking. Mm-hmm. But there is so much scientific evidence that is proving in the laboratory, hard scientific fact, that the way you think has a huge effect on what you manifest. And, we do literally create our own reality in a variety of ways, and no one likes to think about that. It feels like life is happening to us. But the scientific evidence, and I explain this very carefully and easily in the book, scientific evidence is completely the opposite. Life isn't happening to us. We are actually creating it. And there are things that happen that are out of our control, certainly. But how we react to them and the choices we make along the way are totally within our control. And that's part of this process, is to learn, get your mind working the way you'd like it to, rather than the way it's probably programmed to, that's holding you back.
You also talk in the book, and again, another term that I think is misunderstood. I didn't really know a lot about it. You're talking about chakras. Is that how you pronounce that?
Yes. Yep.
Energy in the body. Can you explain that briefly?
Well, very briefly, it's a system of energy that has been recognized for about 4,000 years. It comes from the ancient Hindus. It's Sanskrit. Chakra means locus or focus point. And basically it describes 7 areas in the body that are focus points for both physical and emotional energy. The interesting thing is, again, that this is stuff that has been passed down for millennia, sort of on faith in those traditions. But modern science, again, is proving that this is very much how the human energy system works. There are local focus points of energy, and there are certain emotional, psychological energies that are directly related to physical energies. So I just basically explain how it works, how it's organized. It's mostly informational. But with that information, it gives you more knowledge. And, the old cliche, knowledge is power. The reason cliches get to be cliches is because they're true. And so the more you understand about how your mind works, the more you understand about how your body works, and the more you understand the relationship between the two. And in Western thinking, modern industrialized nations, we have really strayed from that mind-body connection for many, many, many years. We're coming back to it now. But again, the science behind it is proving that the mind and body cannot be separated. They are one entity. They are completely related. So the concept of chakras is just a way of understanding that dynamic. And with that understanding, it empowers you to make healthier choices physically, emotionally, and spiritually.
And just to kind of put this all together, we have limited time today, obviously, and we encourage people to read through the book, get more details. But putting all these elements together, whatever problem you may have, or just want to improve your life, what's the main thing people can do to kind of start? Is it just like meditation, a couple minutes a day, and what should you do?
Well, again, with the limited time, meditation is part of it. This is very much a comprehensive methodology and system that is very easy and simple. What I would recommend, this book is not expensive. I would recommend, if there's anybody out there in your audience that has something in their life that's not working the way they want it to, I'd recommend they go take a look at the book. It's available in fine bookstores everywhere, like Barnes & Noble, online at Amazon, barnesandnoble.com, or Nook and Kindle. And if you just go through it and take it step by step the way I present it, I almost can guarantee that you will feel a difference in your life. It is, and I don't mean to sound immodest. I've been doing this for a very long time, and I've come upon this method. I've worked with thousands and thousands of people in my clinical practice and in my seminars and workshops. It works, so give it a shot. I think it'll be the best $10 or $15 you ever spend.
I agree with you. I mean, there's so many books, and we've seen them over the years of how-to books or self-help books, and I know there's a crowded market out there to attempt to write one, but I think you've created a bit of a niche here, and I'm not just saying this. I mean, I interview hundreds of people a year, but I think it's a simple enough way you laid it out where people can get some help out of it, no matter what problems you're going through, or if you just want to improve, if you already have a pretty good life, maybe just improve it a bit. But they call it a synthesis effect.
Glad you mentioned that, Doug, because I work with people, athletes at all levels, professionals, Olympic athletes, actors and writers. I'm in LA, so I work with a lot of, big names and small name actors, people who are doing well but want to do better. Because at a certain, it's all in your mind. Everything that happens in your life has to go through your mind. And so the better your mind is tuned and working the way you want it to, the more powerful, the more successful, and the more enjoyable your life is going to be. And in my system, the McGrail method, number one rule is this: life is supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be suffering and drudgery and pain. It's supposed to be enjoyable, and it's doable. I promise you it's doable.
And you have a website too, right? Just drjohnmcgrail.com. People can get a hold of you if they like.
Yes, that's my new website. I also have a website specifically for the book. It's called thesynthesiseffect.com. And, if people email me, I try to respond to, I'm getting thousands of inquiries and questions, but I try to respond to as many as I can. But they can sign up for my blog, because I also take questions from readers and clients and students, sort of put them together and address them in the blog and the newsletter. So I'm here to help folks as much as I can, and I really hope they take a look at the book. I think they'll be glad they did. Check the reviews on Amazon. I mean, the response has been amazing, and I'm humbled by it, but I'm also delighted.
That's great. Before we wrap up, as a hypnotherapist, can you actually hypnotize somebody by waving a stopwatch back and forth, or is that TV and movies?
Well, you can, but that's a very, very archaic way of doing it. And again, hypnosis is just a small part of the bigger process.
Right.
All you have to do to go into hypnosis is listen to a piece of music that you like, close your eyes, relax, breathe softly, and the next thing you know, you're in La La Land. And yeah, the stopwatch thing, that's B-movies.
And it doesn't work in 2 seconds either, like it does in TV shows.
No, a few people can do that, but very few. And it's, like I said, it's a completely natural process.
Right.
So I explain it completely in the book, along with everything else. And again, it's part of a much bigger process that uses all of the mind in a very simple, profound way. You can live the life you want. I promise you can. And all you got to do is want it and be willing to do a little bit of work. It's not that hard.
The Synthesis Effect, Your Direct Path to Personal Power and Transformation, the name of the book. We've been talking with Dr. John McGrail today. And, Doc, I appreciate you taking a few minutes. I know you have a busy schedule, but congratulations on the book, and hopefully we can talk to you again down the road.
Doug, thank you so much for having me. You've been very generous, and I'd be delighted to come back anytime.